On this episode of The Best, advisory. The word we're getting tired of, the word that's been around since the 90s, perhaps even earlier than that. If we're going to do it, how are we going to do it? Let's take a look at that one on this episode of The Best. So just as we got tired of the subject of MTD, GDPR, auto-enrollment, and all the other things that have come our way as the catchphrase of the conferences for the year, this advisory thing, which is probably in its fourth or fifth iteration in the profession now, is still something that we grasp or struggle to grasp hold of because once again, we don't have a financial imperative. There is no economic necessity to do it. We can just do compliance. The fees from compliance work do fulfill many of our lifestyle needs. So why bother being proactive when we can do nothing instead? Sound good? Not so much. Unfortunately, tech is now giving us the realization and the awakening to the fact that a lot of what used to require human intervention now does not. And therefore, any commercially aware organization in a situation like that would ask itself, so what do we sell in 5 years' time? So what do people buy from us if they don't buy this? And if they do buy this, are they buying it at the same price? Can we raise the price of the same thing that we do? Or is it going to decrease? And if so, how do we compensate? And so advisory comes into the conversation so much. And people have different ideas of what it constitutes and what it doesn't constitute. And is there a singular definition? Well, ultimately, anything beyond compliance could be regarded as advisory. Certain parts of compliance could be regarded as advisory. So I wanted to give you here the four walls of financial literacy because I think that term, the four walls of financial literacy, is the baseline for any advisory provision. So first of all, what we've got to assume is that for many of our clients are very good doing what they do, whatever it happens to be. If they're in manufacturing or if they're in the IT sector, whatever it is they specialize in, they're very, very good at it. What we should not assume, however, is that they're very good running a business doing that thing, and as a result may well need help from us. And financial literacy is, statistically, according to government research, the greatest area of need. So I would ask you to take a look at any one of your clients and ask 4 questions. Question number 1, do they work to a budget each month? Do they know the cash that's coming into the business and when it's going to hit? Do they know the expenses going out and when they're going to hit and how that impacts cash flow? And do they know on a simple monthly profit and loss basis whether or not they're making money? Do they understand that they have to work to a budget in order to spend less than they earn? That's question 1. Do they have a budget? Do they stick to that budget? Question 2, do they have the information that informs them about how the business is performing? The management information, do they have the breakdowns? If they're on a general ledger package such as a Intuit or a Xero or a Sage or an Iris or whatever it is they have, do they have the information and can they understand the information that's available to them that informs the decisions and commercial choices that they make? Number 3 is forecasting. Okay, think about your clients right now. How many of them actually forecast their own future? How many of them actually know where they're going to be at the bank if things continue as they are for another 5-6 months from now? Do they know about an impending cash flow shortage? Do they know about an impending cash flow surplus? Do they know about their tax liabilities? Have they saved up for their tax liabilities? Do they understand that X% of what comes into their business isn't theirs? It's the government's. I find so many firms telling me that their clients don't understand these things. So the third thing I'd ask you to ask of your clients, do they have forecasts in place and do they even understand the importance of them? And fourth, do they feel like you care whether they sink or swim? Do they think you are emotionally invested in them trying to achieve their goals? Do they believe that you have empathy with their situation? Because for me, there is no advisory without empathy. We have to get close to the client. We have to understand why they're in business, why they're trying to achieve the things they're trying to achieve, how important it is to them to achieve those things, what happens if they miss out on those targets, what are the impacts in their personal lives, what are the impacts in their professional lives, how much longer does that delay retirement successfully, and so on. So those 4 walls, if we suggest that 4 walls Domestically equals security. We've got four walls around us. We're good to go. We're okay. We're protected. We're shielded. Then shield your clients in the same way with this very base level of advisory work. The management accounts, the budgeting, the cash flow forecasting, and the communication of empathy. Because those four walls are the very best way to start much greater conversations with your clients about how you can help them in untold ways to really get them towards their ultimate destination. So I want you to be the best for your clients. Clearly you want to give your clients the best available to them from you, and therefore why not start by a simple exercise internally that says, okay, let's take a look at our grade A and our grade B clients only to begin with, who have got the four walls in place already. Whether it comes from us, whether they do it themselves, doesn't really matter, who's got it in place already. Because if they haven't got it in place, they're exposed, they're not shielded. And we have, as a profession, a noble calling to do the best we can and serve our clients. Let's shield them straight away. That's the best thing we can do. Now, if you need help in how to articulate, communicate, develop, and even price those types of support services for your clients, then just click the link below. We'll start a conversation and we'll get you there in no time. But until then, I shall see you on the next episode of The Best. Bye for now.